Patriots, I've come to the conclusion, and after I share what I have, you can come to your own conclusion that unless we get rid of the Federal Reserve, um, the banking system, America's never going to recover. Early on, bartering was the order of the day for early man to exchange commodities. Soon, bartering severely limited opportunities, and gold coins or precious metal became the currency. Gold soon posed a problem as well, so they changed to paper money or a promissory note. Then people realized that if they loaned out the money for a fee, they could generate more money. These were the Smiths that made the gold coins. Early American colonists printed their own money and were prospering. Ben Franklin said, "In the colonies, we issue our own money. It's called colonial scrip. It is issued in proper proportion to the demands of trade and industry to make the products pass easily from the producers to the consumers. In this manner, creating for ourselves our own paper money, we control its purchasing power, and we have to pay interest to no one." So the Bank of England forced the English Parliament to stop the colonies from prospering with the 1764 passage of the Currency Act of 1764, which stopped colonies from printing their own money and forced them to buy and use notes only from the Bank of England. Franklin touted that economic depression and unemployment was because of England's outlawing of debt-free money. This set off the American Revolution. And we actually thought that we took our independence from England. We are the joke of the global community. Everybody knows that if you control the money, then you control the people, no matter what flag that we have flying up in Washington. In 1781, the Bank of North America was created. They fashioned it after the Bank of England, and it lasted only 3 years before failing due to rampant fraud and inflation caused by fiat currency. And this is fiat currency is worthless paper money that is made acceptable by law. John Adams said, "Our whole banking system I ever abhorred, and I continue to abhor, and shall die abhorring. Every bank of discount, every bank by which interest is to be paid or profit of any kind that is made by the lender is downright corruption." Then they created the first Bank of the United States, also mimicking the Bank of England. 20% of the capital was obtained by the federal government, so they say, and 80% was from private investors. Law records show it was the Rothschilds who controlled the old Bank of the U.S., Brit royalty. In 1832, President Andrew Jackson denounced the central bank as unconstitutional and a curse to the republic and dangerous to the liberties of the country. In 1835, an attempt was made on his life by Richard Lawrence, who claimed that the powers that be in Europe hired him. In 1913, the Federal Reserve System was created, and the Federal Reserve Act was signed by none other than Woodrow Wilson, 2 days before Christmas. There's something about these people trying to pass legislation during Christmas time. Boy, I'm still trying to figure out what that is all about. So the Federal Reserve System has 12 Federal Reserve Bank, 11 that are assigned to each section of the country, but dominated by the New York Federal Reserve Bank. And they use a central bank to create periods of inflation and deflation, and storing the profits has been well honed by the international bankers. The Federal Reserve has nothing to do with the federal government. They just give them that name probably to make them seem more important than they are, and to keep the Americans from really investigating or trying to pry into, what are they there for? They are a private entity. You understand? They are private. Keep that in mind. The owners are private stockholders. It's a privately owned organization that's owned by member banks, who are the Rothschilds, Morgans, Rockefellers, Warburgs, Kuhn, Loeb and Company, Lehman Brothers, and it's a few more that I left out because it's just too much. Chase Manhattan Bank of New York, David Rockefeller, Israel Moses Seif Banks of Italy, Lazard Brothers Bank of Paris, Goldman Sachs Bank of New York, Rothschilds Bank of London and Berlin, okay? Henry Ford said, "It is well enough that the people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary systems, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning." The late Senator Barry Goldwater said that most Americans have no real understanding of the operation of the international moneylenders. The bankers want it that way. They make money by extending credit to governments, and the greater debt of the political state is the larger the interest that the lenders receive. Kennedy tried to stop it with Executive Order 111110 to stop these European bankers from printing money and selling at an interest to the U.S. government. Here we have foreigners, or we have U.S. greedy treasoners who are allowing American money to be printed and sold back to us in our own country. Our tax dollars are going to bail out European bankers and the U.S. bankers who have abused, exploited, and raped the American people. We have never been from under complete British control. They have controlled us for centuries. People have died indentured slaves to the Brits and greedy U.S. bankers. We have to destroy them. There must be a lawyer or someone who knows how to abolish the Federal Reserve System. Return printing money back to the U.S. Treasury and kick these elitist pricks in their teeth. The only way to rid the government of corruption will be by taking out the Federal Reserve banks in each part of the country and in New York. If we cut off the beast's head, which is the New York headquarters, then the 11 bodies will die. We really haven't made a big enough fuss. We made movies, they did documentaries, but we really haven't pressured the issue. You know, we haven't gone on rallies. We haven't stood outside each of these, in each of these part of the state, stood outside of these institutions and rallied and tell them that we want them to leave and make, you know, we could sue them. You know, being that they're private entities and they have robbed and pillaged and pilfered, or pilfered is too small a word, they have just taken advantage of the American people and our tax dollars for centuries. I think that we could definitely sue them as individuals and sue them as a country. Everybody. They invade us with other atrocities to take our minds off the real culprit, the Federal Reserve. We took them out before with you know, when we had the American Revolution, and now we have to completely destroy all their roots. They've killed 5 people to retain their power. You know, it's time to get these guys out of control. Let's see. I don't think that we'll ever properly or completely recover until the Federal Reserve Bank is gone. Come on, people. I mean, right in our face, they have been taking advantage of us for, like I said, centuries. I'm leaving the links up to everything. Look it up for yourselves. It's time to stop the madness. Our tax money is going to the Federal Reserve Bank. They're sitting there charging us on our own money. I mean, as you heard, originally the American colonies printed their own money until England got upset because they saw how we were prospering. Debt-free money. That's what we have to go back to, America. We got to go back to debt-free money. And the only way we're going to do that is to get rid of the Federal Reserve Bank. Obama's not going to do it. None of the other presidents that were before him did it, because they have the 5 people that tried to take the power out of the Federal Reserve's hands. They were assassinated or attempts were made on their lives. So this has to let you know that this is some serious shit that we're dealing with right here, okay? We have to get rid of the Federal Reserve Bank. There got to be lawyers out there that know how we can go about getting this done. All right? We have to start making a big stink. We got to start harassing our representatives, harassing Obama, harassing the mainstream media. Make them report it. You know? I mean, I can't just go by what Alex Jones did. I don't trust that guy fully. But I thank him for bringing it to our attention. So now that we know this, if we don't do anything about this, then I'm not making any more videos. What the hell is the problem? I mean, what would be the use? To continue to rant and rave for what? Are we just going to stand by and let these people continue to take advantage of us through the Federal Reserve Bank and through Medicaid and Medicare? It's time to make a stink. It's time to get up off our ass and do something about this. I'm tired of making videos. Okay? We see what the problem is. Let's handle the problem. And let's do it now, people.